Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Guess what? All yesterday I thought it was Thursday. I said, ooh, yesterday I was like, tomorrow's Friday. Maybe I'll wait one more day, Saturday, so I can get a little bit further in Maduro indictment I've been working on. Turns out today's Saturday. But notwithstanding, nonetheless, how y'all doing? Long time no see. It's around 8:30 here in San Antonio, Texas. Part of the path of severe winter storm Fern, technically, even though again it is South Texas. So, if you're going through the winter storm Fern, my best to you and your survival endeavors. I think it's like 40 degrees out here, maybe it's 50 degrees out here. I think it might be 50 degrees here in San Antonio, Texas. It's not going to be too bad here. So, you don't have to, have well wishes for me because it's going to be fine. But yeah, well wishes to y'all. You're in the winter storm. I saw there's going to be a lot of precautions, preparedness, in case anything happens. It's not good. Anyway, happy Saturday. What y'all been doing? What's been going on in the world? Other than a winter storm, if you're not in a winter storm, which I guess is the West Coast, what have y'all been doing? I don't want to leave y'all out of the conversation. Everybody's talking about this winter storm. Fern. There's a bird. Can y'all see? My tattoo, I wanted to get seagulls, but that tattoo artist was like, I don't know what a seagull is. And so I got a bit of shaded. And so now I'm just like, okay, I got two vultures instead of seagulls, so that's fine. I really like them. My tattoos, my bird tattoos. Like, how else feel? My coat's on. Anyway. Yeah, you're like in the West Coast. What have you been doing? How's the weather like for y'all? It's great. Anyway. Nothing new much going on over here again. Left the house the other day. I think it's been like since December 17th. My mom is still adamant that I'm not allowed to drive the car, right? So, I've been stuck in this house. She said, I can drive you somewhere. I'm like, oh, no. But I needed a coffee maker, you see. It was a necessity. So she drove me to Target and paid for the coffee maker. So anyway, obviously you can tell not much new going on here at 9107. Unfortunately for me, I think it's like 10 days to slow the spread to Valentine's Day. My mom and Tracy, they went to go eat lunch with Lisa. Of course, I didn't go. I don't like her. Joanne and my Uncle Rudy's only child, who is exactly 10 years older than myself. I don't know if y'all seen her on the live stream or not. I'm just assuming you have. But if there's going to be no acknowledgement of the live stream, I really have nothing to say to her. Other than I'll see you in court. With the F. Fucked up. Psycho. Anyway. Oh, so my mom and Tracy ate lunch with Lisa, and guess what? I said, well, why? And my mom was like, oh, just for the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all that. So, okay. She has two kids, John and Anna. Apparently, they're both in college. I guess in San Antonio. I'm talking about getting their schedules. I don't know what her job is. I should have asked her when we had a conversation. Is she unemployed, Lisa? Because last I heard, she quit. She was a teacher for Northside NISD for a long time, and then she quit. And then I don't know if she was working for a Montessori school, but then she started working for a website, and that was the last I heard of it. So I forgot to ask my mom when she was telling me about the lunch if she has a job. But anyway, they brought home my mom and Tracy after the lunch, which they didn't give me anything. They went to go get pizza, and my mom and Tracy both had leftover boxes of pizza. Usually they'll like offer me something, right? They go out to eat and I don't go. They didn't offer nothing. So it's okay. I'll have my tofu and broccoli and rice that I just made today. Don't worry about it. I guess. But anyway, a Christmas gift, gift cards. Lisa was so kind in her non-acknowledgement of the live stream and the fact that I'm a celebrity and public figure to reach out to her family with like $15 gift cards or something like that. They might be 25. I don't know. 2 of them were to half price. I think there's like other ones. I didn't even look. I was like, I'm putting this by the ADT little security thing. That'll be my comments on that. At least in this house. To y'all, I'm just gonna sing like a canary. Why not? It's as I hear on the news often. It's been 1 year of 47's second term. And what's going on? How are we going to commemorate that milestone? Jack Smith testimony in front of congressional testimony. I didn't watch it. Apparently it was like 6 hours or something. But I said, man, this timing is so like stupid. Y'all get it, right? I'm not the only... Y'all connect those dots? Well, there was 46, and then 4 years later, it's 47, and then a year after that, and then we're going to talk about Jack Smith. Okay. What is it? A master prosecutor? What do they call him? Or that's what they did call him. Which I thought was stupid. Who came up with that term? Is it only for presidents when that happens, or can you be like a master prosecutor with like just like somebody who's not a president? And apparently, so it was 6 hours. There's a heated exchange between, I say heated exchange. It wasn't like they were disagreeing with each other. They were just like ready to make their arguments together. Anyway, JFL, I forget. She's not a part of the three, the AOC and the three, but she's like part of it. She's like the 5 or something. I don't know. Progressive Democrat. I was saying all this stuff, and Jack Smith was like, "I agree." But that's just the clip they've been playing on the news over and over again. And apparently there's like unsealing of stuff, like stuff I guess is sealed. I guess when you're in law you call it sealed. Dealing with court proceedings, it's sealed. They never say like confidential or something like that. But anyway, my hands are getting so cold. Put this on the pocket. Anyway, yeah, there was a heated exchange between them. They both agreed on the same thing. He tried to 47, then 45, tried to retain power and enrich his family by stealing the presidential election and confidential papers, bringing it to his home residence in Mar-a-Lago, Palm Beach, Florida, where I think Rhonda Meatball is still the governor. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was stupid. I thought it was a waste of 6 hours, but you know, I think a lot of stuff's a waste. Well, that's a waste. That's a waste. That's a waste. But anyway, so apparently stuff's like sealed, and the current Attorney General, Pam Bondi, won't unseal it, which I thought was odd. So when something is hidden, who does that help? You know, you think he works, Jack Smith, master prosecutor Jack Smith, works so hard on something, and you're talking about all of this stuff, and wouldn't it be the interest of the American people for it to be unsealed? What has he been working on, or what had he been working on? What was it? Was it November of 2022, 2023? Technically he was working under, as far as, does he have a job, Lisa? I think technically he's worked for the Department of Justice, right? The United States Government Department of Justice. So he don't get a YouTube check, Jack Smith. I think he got a DOJ check. So could you at least unseal that, Pam Bondi? No? Wonder why. It's odd. You know, 47 certainly doesn't shy away from any sort of controversy. It definitely doesn't shy away from any sort of opportunity, situation, atmosphere, environment to look a certain way, where some people would say is unprecedented. So, I don't know, hopefully she'll unseal it. But anyway, so there's that in the news. I've been working on this Maduro indictment, which I find fascinating, and I really doubt the involvement of him in it. Just because. So I think on the news when that happened, it was people were upset. They were like U.S. imperialism and stuff like that. But what I learned in the indictment is that they've been bringing people over to face trials, specifically in New York. I think in the indictment it was Eastern Eastern District of New York and the Southern District of New York. Throughout the years, I think it was like since 2009, 2013, I think 2015, they brought people from I forget, from either Venezuela or Colombia, which I think is very interesting because that was another argument. They said the cocaine is from Colombia. Why are they even in Venezuela? But if you're wondering, it has a lot to do with the FTOs, Federal Terrorist Organizations, pursuant to Secretary of State Section 219 or something like that. I forget which code. But anyway, um, they say, oh, it's from Colombia. Why are we even in Venezuela? There's a lot of overlap in as far as the history between. I think the furthest it went was 1999, but primarily it talks about like 2004 or 2006 and to present 2005 or 2025 and 2026. But anyway, there's a lot of federal terrorist organizations. There's like several of them listed. I think there's like 4 or 5 listed in the indictment, and there's a lot of operations movement between the two countries, Colombia and Venezuela, and it's very interesting what's going on. I think boots on the ground. But I don't use that term like in like military. I just mean like if you actually like, you know, look at the facts. But Colombia declared, I forget which cartel or federal FTO, federal terrorist organization, signed a peace treaty with Colombia, and then started primarily, and then Maduro was like welcoming that FTO in Venezuela, and then they were going to go to the coast of Venezuela, which is the Tren de Agua, something like that. But anyway, it has a lot to do with the movement and the mechanism and the operations of the FTOs, what the United States classifies as a federal terrorist organization, which is basically, in layman's terms, cartels and stuff like that. And a lot of crossover between Venezuela and Colombia and all of that. Yeah, so I think the indictment's really interesting, and as far as bringing people to stand trial in New York, that's happened in the indictment at least 3 times, and I think it's very interesting because they listed like the defendants and working with this person who it turned out was tried in either the Eastern or Southern District of New York, and is currently a fugitive, which basically just means avoiding the law. You can be a fugitive, you can be a felon, and you can be a fugitive felon. I looked it up on Google. But anyway, so this bringing people to the United States specifically because of narco-terrorism specifically has been happening, I think, since like 2009 or something like that. It says in the indictments, and they list 3 fugitives in that indictment, which I think is interesting as far as how are they fugitives, and this whole point of these FTOs or cartels and stuff like that is to bring the drugs to the United States. They don't really talk about, they did talk about, I think in France, some airport in France, like Maduro flew some drugs to Mexico, and Mexico's like, don't do that. And then after that, he flew some drugs to France, airport in France, I think. And that said the French authorities seized the cocaine, and said there's like some quote in it. saying like rulers should not have done that after what happened in Mexico. So as far as Maduro goes, it seems he was what there is being alleged, I think, in the indictment, unsealed, is he's been flagrantly transporting cocaine and other drugs, because I've been looking at the statutes, and it's been the statutes, I think it's like firearms. There's a lot. It's as far as breaking the laws of the United States, a lot of it is firearms code. I forget which one that one is. It's either like 8 or 18 or something like that. Weapons and food and drug, but definitely just like the drug portion of that title, which I think is Title 21. You know, the drugs might have been Title 18. I can't remember, or the firearms. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to do a whole timeline and all that stuff. I thought today was Friday, and I said I'm gonna make my video on Saturday. But yeah, I've been trying to be heavy in the Maduro indictment, which I find fascinating, especially considering this is not something new the United States has done. It's something that's at least happened since, I think, 2009, was it, the fugitives? There's like 3 fugitives. So I think it's interesting. And then there's a judge, AKH is the judge's initials. I forget what his name is. But anyway, he, one of the military people from Venezuela, called the chicken. He said he's on Google says he's a narco-terrorist. I think it says that in the indictment too. But apparently he talked to this judge. He's been a judge of several things. I recognize the initial AKH, and he asked for the chicken. Asked for to not bring the defendants to the United States. He said he can't. You have this trial or court proceeding with a defendant in Venezuela, and the United States District Judge, AKH initials, was like, no, you need to bring him to the United States. So you can become a fugitive? I don't know. So I just find it very fascinating and interesting, all the stuff going on there. But yeah, right now I'm just looking at all the statutes they listed in. I wanted to do the timeline. They describe who each person is. I don't know, it's just a very professional indictment. Sometimes I read through things and I'm just like, maybe it was a little late at night and they just really wanted to get it done. But I think this one was well researched and a lot of evidence and stuff like that. It seems for like 20 years going on, basically accusing Maduro of being like the head honcho drug dealer and allowing these several FTOs, federal terrorist organizations, or cartels, and controlling their operations and stuff like that. And so that's just really interesting, and that's what I'm reading. So anyway, and they say that he used the money so he can get reelected. But anyway, I've done the background, and now I just need to do the due diligence. I think it's very interesting what's going on, right? They want to move the cocaine to the United States. Oh, I think the Trinidad, I think that that's one which I think 47 mentions a lot in his first year, um, is the one that has people in New York, maybe? I think it said in the indictment. So they control, if I'm not mixing up the FTOs, they control the coastline of Venezuela and transport it or store it and then transport it and have people in New York or something like that. It's really fascinating. Like I said, if I had one more day, I would have a little bit more information for you, but I said, I'm just gonna make a video today, and if I get to the point where I have more information to share with y'all, then I'll just make a video on that day too. Anyway, yeah, I just think it's a really interesting indictment, looking up the statutes and all that stuff, which is basically firearms, and I'm getting to the drug portion of it, but and there's forfeiture. So it's firearms, drugs, and forfeiture are the statutes that are listed in the indictment via the DOJ, which Pam Bondi represents. I don't know, I've seen her talk and I'm just like, Anyway. And also, it's just kind of, weird situation, right? I know she was really worried about Elon, his Teslas. So she's gonna prosecute him to the fullest extent of the law. Stop messing with Elon's Teslas. So, there's that. Whatever that may mean to you. Anyway, obviously it means a little bit something to me, but I can't drive this car. I'm not allowed to. Anyway, I can't wait to live in society and be with my husband. But until then, I got Lisa's gift cards, which I'm going to adamantly refuse. I said, no, I don't want anything she has to give me. Is it a Tesla? No? It's a half price gift card. Thanks, but no thanks, Lisa Faye. Anyway. Yeah, I can't wait to be living my life in 1907. And I'll leave it at that for now. And if I was out in public, I'd be like, do you want a half-price gift card? Half-price books gift card? Here you go. My fake family Lisa gave it to me and I don't want it. Anyway, let me take a sip of coffee, see if there's anything else there is to chit chat about. 1 second. Cold. The coffee cold down. It's not a warm coffee. Anyway. Well, I didn't really think of anything else to say. Hope y'all are doing well. Not much going on in the news. So I'm told. But anyway, happy storm. If you're wondering, they on the news, the Spectrum News, which is local, they said they have heat generators and all this stuff at the St. Tennessee and all that, so it's good. Sometimes I worry about like the squirrels and crows and stuff. My mom was like, when she took me to Target, she's like, there's a freeze, everything's gonna die, we're gonna have to cut down all the trees, or something like that. I didn't really say anything, but at the time, I said, you know, those little crows and squirrels and all that stuff. You know, I always see them. It's not like they get wiped out every winter. So, anyway, I guess that's what I've been stressing about. Staying here at home and the squirrels and the crows. Is that gonna stay warm? Anyway, got a couple paintings going. Probably post one after this video because I'm done painting it. I just did a glitter. I'm letting it dry. Anyway, yeah, I guess that's that. Melania's got her new movie the end of this month. I wish I could go. So wouldn't that be nice? Anybody wondering about me following me? I said, look, I'm at a premiere. My first official act as a public figure and celebrity. Officially. Anyway, what? Did I trail off there? My bad. I didn't mean to. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway. Yeah, I guess it's that. Happy Saturday and not happy Friday. Even though you do see the trash can. The trash was not here yesterday. So yeah. I guess that's it. I hope y'all stay warm. I hope if you're not in the winter storm that you have nice pleasant weather and enjoy it. I hope you're not stuck somewhere you don't want to be stuck in. Yeah, I guess it's that. So, plan on making a tarot card video tomorrow, in case you're wondering. Apparently Lisa doesn't watch my tarot card videos either. So, anyway, have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Hope you'll have a good weekend. If you're feeling a little bit low or upset about a situation you may be in, I just want you to just recognize all of the gifts you have in your life. Okay? You do me that favor. Enjoy your life while you have it. The time. If something is not worth your attention, then don't give it your attention. My advice. Anyway, y'all have a good one.